didn't realize I was doing
You want the
anything.
lights off?
Does it matter? No, not really.
Oh, okay.
And we're live, like it's live.
Oh.
And I kind of wish you had told me what I was doing because obviously I'm in my overall.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
You're fabulous any kind of way.
You're yes. So, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Yes, I keep looking because I'm doing tech today. As you can see, I'm dressed for tech, but no matter. I want to welcome you to our wealth building workshop. And I keep using wealth building, and I did a live, and hopefully, I just saw you guys were on my live a minute ago. Like I saw you there, right? And so, what I'm talking about today is wealth building because here's the thing: the only thing that probably ranks, like right under air for me is money. That's where it ranks. That I have to breathe, and then I have to have money. So I know that I was not taught from a child all of the ways that I could make money or make my money work for me and all those types of things. And so one of the things we want to do here at Milford Armory is create this series, which is wealth building. It's a series. So, and we're kicking it off today. Super excited. I'm not going to tell you who, but we are kicking it off today with an amazing keynote that, like he's really younger than my children. I don't know what that says about me, other than I'm wise enough to be in the room when he's speaking. Maybe that's what that says about me. So I'm super excited to be able to talk a little bit about Milford Armory. I want to introduce you to the team behind me that makes everything happen. And just let you know that one of the things we are here for is for better living. Holistically, better living. So whether you need resources, housing, we offer a lot of services here at the center. And we're not like most nonprofits. So most nonprofits, yes, you can come in and you can get a food bag and we can give you free stuff. But the one thing that we really focus on very heavily here at the center is knowledge. Because knowledge is the one thing that can never be taken from you, right? I don't care where you go. Once I give it to you, you can, wherever you go here, Tibet, you can use that knowledge, constantly build on it, and you can recreate your dreams wherever you are. I always say, and I always hear people say that knowledge is power. Mm-mm. I really don't agree with that. Knowledge is potential. Action becomes power. So here at the center, we decided to put knowledge in action and bring to you a series of amazing workshops, not the least of which, and certainly one of the most important, is to kick off financial literacy and wealth building. You want to be wealthy, and if you don't, then this absolute presentation is not for you. And I absolutely understand. I understand if you have signed up and decided that you want to be poor. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if you have decided that you don't want anything more than your mama had. I'm okay with that too. I want more, and here's the best part: I want my children to have more than I have. And so this today from this young gentleman, I will clue you in and tell you like he's only 21, right? How amazing is that? The Bible even tells us that every generation, it says, gets a little wiser and a little weaker. Mm-hmm. So there are things that we can learn that and I have no shame in my game, even standing here in my overalls. I am 52 years old. I have no shame in my game telling you there are things that I can still learn about financial wealth building, about how to leverage my money, how to invest my money, yes, and how to make my money work for me. Most of you are working 9-to-5 jobs, and most of them are jobs that you hate, and you haven't even learned how to take the money from the job you hate and leverage that money for the life you deserve, right? And so here is an opportunity for you to learn. So I'm not going to belabor the hour by doing that, but I do want to take a few moments and I want to introduce you to my team. They are my angels, and they help us do everything that we see here. So I'm going to bring up really quickly my COO, my community resource director, and my assistant, and let them say hello and maybe even have a word or two for you.
Hi, I'm Veronica Webb. I'm the COO of this wonderful place where we're just a hub for anything that you may need. And even if we don't have what you think you need or you don't know you need, we have the resources to connect you to that. And now Ms. Brenda Whitehurst.
Good morning, everyone. So good to see you. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here today and to be able to sit among the young people and to hear all that's going on and how we can become financially stable. Uh, I'm a firm believer that there are four types of people in the world. You've heard me say this many times, many of you, and that is there are people that make things happen, there are people that watch things happen, there are people that wonder what happened, and then there are those who don't know that anything happened. And I encourage our young people to not be the last two of the four. So I am more than happy to be here today to hear what this young man has to say to us, older generation. Amen.
Yes.
Let me introduce my team sister, Brandy Daniels.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brandy Daniels. I'm Miss Lillian's personal assistant. I'm telling y'all to log on, because you do not want to miss these gems that he's about to drop. I'm telling you. This is stuff that I wish that I knew back when I was his age. You cannot go wrong with any of the stuff he's about to drop to you. And it's completely free. What can go wrong? Right? So without further ado, I will move on to the next person, Miss Lillian.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
So, as you can see, we are super excited about the information you're about to get. And as Brandy said, for all of you young ones, like, share, Facebook, push it out onto your social media. We want to see those numbers go up because trust and believe. I may leave this on there for a period of time, but here's the thing. Truthfully, if you know me well enough, once you missed it, you've missed it, right? So you better get it while it's going. So tell somebody, share this out, and we're looking forward. I am now going to bring Veronica back up, who's going to introduce our keynote, and then the word that you'll hear after that is the amazing, amazing, amazing information from our keynote.
Oh, welcome again. I'm about to introduce Mr. Zachary Collins, and it is my overwhelming pleasure to do so. Mr. Zachary Collins, Creighton University, Omaha, Nebraska. Zachary Collins is a remarkable senior at Creighton University, esteemed Hyder College of Business, located in Omaha, Nebraska. As a first-generation college student, he proudly represents the trailblazer in his family, setting an inspiring example for the future. With a dedication to academic excellence, Zach is poised to graduate with summa cum laude honors, securing his position at the top of his class. His academic pursuits align with his passion for personal finance and market valuations, which he intends to pursue as a career after graduation. Throughout his academic journey, Zach has embarked on various internships during his summers, gaining diverse experiences that have shaped his professional foundation. He has delved his professional foundation. He has delved into the realms of banking, honed his coding skills, SQL, JavaScript, and Python, explored analytics, contributed to product development, and delved into the intricacies of wealth management. Notably, Zachary Collins has already achieved a significant milestone by passing his first FIRNA financial test, the Securities Industry Essentials Exam, SIE. His ambition drives him to pursue further qualifications, aspiring to attend a Chartered Financial Advisory, CFA designation. Zach has discovered a profound passion for empowering others to fortify their financial lives. He firmly believes that sound finances are pivotal to achieving prosperity and happiness in life. With his determination and genuine desire to help others, Zachary Collins is on a remarkable path to make a positive impact in the realm of personal finances and beyond. I introduce to you Mr. Zachary Collins.
Thank you guys. And I just wanted to start with thanking the Milford Armory Service Community Center for inviting me to come speak. It's a real honor. This is my first time presenting material outside of work class, so please bear with me. I promise if you stick with me, you're going to be able to take something away, whether it's a lesson, a goal, or even a quote that I present to you. As Ms. Ronnie said, I am a senior at Creighton University, and I study financial technology and business analytics in Omaha, Nebraska. What that really means is I study the financial side or the technological side of finance. So whether that's machine learning and how that affects the financial world, robo-advising, and then I have the foundation of valuing securities as well. But many of you might be wondering, why is a guy from Omaha, Nebraska here in Milford, Delaware? My father's from the area, so I have that connection. And then me and my amazing girlfriend love the ocean. So Miss Anna right here, she's awesome. She's my rock. She helped me with the speech and the presentation. So credits to her. Yesterday we spent the day in Cape May, and that was amazing. I don't know if you guys have been there, if that's a popular thing, but it should be. This is my second time at the Milford Armory Community Service Center. The first time, my mom, Miss Brenda, my grandma, gave me a tour, and I will say the whole team is doing amazing things here. From recreation to gyms to shopping to relaxing to workshops like these, groceries. I mean, you really might not need to go anywhere else besides here during your week. Ms. Brenda has shared with me their mission is to make a change for the better and transform the community, and they're making great headway in doing so. So please take a look and share your appreciation for the community center. Today's topic is having financial goals in life and applying this method of thinking to your financial situation. First, I'm going to lay the foundation of having dreams. Henry Ford, who, if you didn't recognize the name, created the Ford automobiles, said the poorest man in the world is not the one without a penny. It's the man without a dream. Dreams are so valuable. They're more valuable than any dollar amount can compare to. Do the things you dream to do, and the money will come. I know you might be thinking many people that have jobs they hate to go to, but at the end of the day, if they did what they loved, they would make the finances work and they would live a more purposeful life. Again, having dreams allows you to find purpose, and money with no purpose leads to a purposeless life. You need money, or you need a dream to have purpose.
You need a dream.
When we were kids, we all dreamt of what we wanted to be, although we rarely make advances on such dreams. I share a similar experience as many of you guys do in this respect. When I was really young, I wanted to be a pilot, and then I realized I didn't like flying much. And I was reminded on my way over here too. And then I wanted to be a construction worker until I realized that meant working hot summers and cold winters. And then a doctor. Now this one was most short-lived. In second grade, I passed out watching a video of the Heimlich maneuver in class. And then this fear of medical stuff and surgeries and all that was reaffirmed in high school when I passed out watching a brain surgery, basically, where you separate the right and left brain to prevent seizures. Yeah, all of you shaking your head, I was doing the same thing. It was not fun to watch. But although we don't make decisions on what we really want to be until we have a sense of urgency. And whether for young people that's moving out of your house, moving out of your parents' house, graduating high school, going to college and really needing the urgency, like I need to pay my bill, I need to go get groceries. Like that's the sense of urgency that really makes us decide who we want to be. Now, the difference between success and failure is having a plan. Denzel Washington, who's a famous actor, if you don't know him, go watch a couple of his movies. He spoke at a commencement speech in Dillard University. Now, I don't know why he was speaking at Dillard, but it was a great speech. You should also check that out. But during his speech, he says, have dreams, but have goals. Because dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. And ironically enough, if you don't have, if you get to the point of disappointment, you've most likely missed the window of when you could have pursued your dreams. Do not leave this earth without progress toward your dream. Do not be the person with the goal of, like a crazy goal of climbing Mount Everest, and then that person just goes to the bottom of the base and just looks up 29,000 feet. Make the goal to climb the first 100, the first 250, the first 500 feet, and then go from there. But again, we must have goals to achieve our dreams, because without goals, dreams are just that, dreams. No one wakes up and is a CEO, nor a surgeon, pilot, or construction worker. Another thing is, you can't do it alone. You need someone's approval, recommendation, whatever it may be. Here on the screen, I put two pictures. One is a picture of a cheetah chasing its prey. Then the other one is a pack of orcas, or killer whales. The cheetah can only travel for so long during its hunting time. I mean, I think it's within a minute. I think it can only run at its top speed for a minute, is what the stat is. But orcas, they travel the oceans together. So if you want to go fast, go alone like the cheetah. If you want to go far, go together like the orcas.
Yes, I'm a worker.
We like to say at work, or at my work, Hudaka Wealth Partners, many hands make light work. So teamwork really does make the dream work. We are here today because Miss Lillian has done these things to an excellent degree. Because she had a dream, I'm standing in front of you guys today. Because she had a goal compared with these dreams, crowds can gather here for so many more things than just speeches. There's, like I said, it's an all-encompassing community center. Because she built a network with 3 great women around her, Milford Armory will continue to be a staple in the community here at Milford. So to relate this, just personal story for me, I was a high school athlete. I ran track and cross country, and I was good. I wasn't great, but I was good. I wasn't going to make the state by myself, but I did make it to state for a relay. And I just want to walk you through just our goal of getting there. So for you guys who don't know, I ran the 800, which is 2 laps around the track, which is half a mile. And in track, there's a common relay called the 4x800. So it's 4 people, they each run at 800 meters, which ends up being 2 miles. Now, we were running around 8:30, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. In 2 miles, that's 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Again, you can't do that by yourself. You need people to do it with you. No one, like the record for 2 miles is well above 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, again, if you want to go far, go together. But anyways, we were about midway point in the season, and we were running in the 8:20s, and we knew that wasn't going to be good enough to make it to state. So we made goals compared with our dream of making it to state. We first wanted to get below 8:20 at our next meet, which we did. We ran at 8:18. And then at districts, which we used to qualify for state, we ran at 8:13, which got us in just barely, but we got in. And then at state, we pulled off our goal of running well, and we ran 8:09 and placed 7th in the state. And it was a great, it was a great culmination. But now we see the importance of having dreams paired with goals, and the reliance on these dreams, and the reliance on others needed to be successful. Let's transition into the financial industry here. I wanted to give a couple disclosures since I don't have my CFA, which is in the works. the rest of this isn't personal investment advice or investment strategies, investment vehicles, or companies that I am recommending, but I am able to recommend you one thing, and that's to get started today. I have a couple questions for the audience here. The first one is, what is the average working income for an American?
Anywhere from 40 to
40 to 50.
25 to 30.
It's higher than that. It's
58.
60.
60.
The average.
Okay.
The average is 60, and that's a working American. So not the 10-year-old mowing lawns.
Okay.
You got to be filing a W-2.
Two.
Yeah. So it's $60,000 for the average working American. The next question is, what is the yearly? What do Americans say they need? What percent of their income do Americans need to have in retirement to feel comfortable? So, like, if you're making $100,000 a year, what percent or how much of that do you think you need annually in retirement to feel comfortable?
For me, 100.
So yeah,
40%.
3/4.
3/4, 75. That's the closest. 80% is kind of the
Wow.
consensus. So, thinking, okay, I make 100 now, but that's like I'm driving to work, I'm eating lunch at work, I'm doing
Right,
all these
right.
things. So, cut it back a little bit. 80%. That's kind of where Americans fall on where they would like to retire. Now, here's the real question. What percent of Americans retire with more than $40,000 in retirement income a year?
What percentage?
Yeah, what percent?
25%.
50. 40%.
It's actually below 5.
5.
So, yes.
I
So,
was gonna say 3.
so to make that connection, most people make $60,000 a year. They want 80% of that, which is 48,000, and the majority retire below 40. So there's that gap, and it's a gap that can be filled, and that's why the world of finance is here, and why wealth management is here to rectify this. So to kind of get more personal with the group, how many of you have investment accounts? So about half. Okay, that's good. How many people feel comfortable with the retirement goals and situations? Not many of us.
No.
See where that 5% comes from.
Yeah.
Now that last question may seem a little odd for the younger generation because in reality, I'm 44 years away from the average retirement. It's almost 4.5 decades, which you think is so much time, but really the most valuable asset young people have is their time. So that's a really important thing to remember. Time is what allows you to build wealth, not the lottery.
Right.
But I want to ask a question. What if we don't live to retirement? What are we leaving behind for our family? Debt for our family to pay or assets for our family to use? Who pays for your funeral? I've always heard a thing about money. You can't take it with you. You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can never take the material stuff past your lifetime. Although it is true, I can't argue it. It is a good idea to leave some behind. I've been to three funerals in the last 3 years, and two of them didn't have the finances. Two of the families didn't have the finances to bury their family member, and it is a very sad thing to see. It's just a sad thing to hear about, and I feel like many in the room can relate.
Absolutely.
I would much rather prefer the peace of mind of knowing if something were to happen to me, even at my young age, that my family would be able, they would be able to go on continuing the lives that they were living. Now, think about the alternative scenario. You live to retirement and you rely on your family for support. That's not a great feeling either.
No.
Jim Rohn, who is a famous writer, businessman, he has a quote that says, "If you think trying is risky, wait until you get the bill for not trying." My biggest advice that I can give to anybody in the room is to start today. Time, like I said, is the most valuable asset for you. Be willing to put away short-term pleasure buying that new car, getting the nice house for long-term safety and security, knowing that you're going to be okay in retirement. Your family will thank you. Okay, now I'm going to transition into some scenarios that my company that I work at allowed me to run. These scenarios are, they don't relate to anybody in particular, but the trend applies to what we were talking about with those questions. So, which one would you rather do? The 20% savings at 20 years old, 33% savings at 30, or the 20% savings at 30 years old?
Is that a question you're asking
Yes.
us?
Yes.
Number two?
33.
I think number one.
Number one.
If you go to the next slide, number one is correct. So, and I'll walk you guys through how we land on this conclusion. So, next slide here. Just to start, so the setting that I put into the scenario is a teenager who makes $60,000 a year, which is the average working American. And then they want to retire on 80% of their annual income, which is $48,000. This is where that $48,000 comes from. So we've had a lot of inflation in the last couple of years. The Federal Reserve's trying to been impacting that. But the Federal Reserve's goal is to have inflation around 2%. I went a little heavy and I put a 3% interest rate from like today until retirement age. So with that, your $48,000 today, or a dollar today is worth a quarter 40 years from now. So $48,000, the equivalent of that in 40 years is 198. That's a big step. That's why people who don't invest, they are losing their money. People who don't save, who spend it, and don't keep it at least in a bank account. Like that's why they get so far behind. Next slide. So again, here's the personal finances. So an average American, $60,000. 20% of that $60,000 is $12K. That's what you would need to save to get to 20%. 30% of the 60 is pushing 19. And then here's the net worth. These don't really impact the plan, but I just put that this person had a house in Delaware worth $250,000 and a mortgage of, and they like just bought it, put a 20% down payment on it, and it's at now $200,000. But that won't affect the plan at the end of the day. So next slide. So scenario one, 20% of 60,000, 12K a year. So the way this is just showing the breakdown of how to save it. And again, this isn't a recommendation. This is just an illustration. So 401k is a qualified employee plan, and most employers offer this plan for retirement. So the nice thing about these is they come with a match. So if you contribute 3, you get 3. So, and then the rest of the 3% I just put into a normal account. Again, that's not a recommendation. It's just an illustration. Next slide. So this will show what you contributed and what it'll end up being in retirement. So contribute $81,000 from today until you're 65. With the employer match is another $81,000. That would grow to 1.36 at a 6% rate of return. It's a big number. 40 years. Time is your most valuable asset. And then the individual, you would have contributed $459,000, and that would have grown to $1.8 million at a 6% rate of return for 40 years. Next slide. So this shows how your retirement looks. Your goal was $48,000. Your max spending would be $51,000, almost $52,000, and those are today's dollars. The annual, or the inflated number would be $221,000 at retirement that you could spend per year. And then you'd be 100% goal funded. You'd have a healthy amount of security. And then here just shows your chart. And this will make sense when we go to the next one, because this chart will look much different. Okay, so scenario 2, we wait till 30 to start saving 20%. We save it the same way, same rate of return, but the results are much different. Go ahead, Lillian. So retirement assets, you contribute $63K compared to the 81 with the employer match of 63 instead of 81. That grows to $879,000. Now I think the other one was
1.3.
1.3.
Yeah.
That's $400,000 for waiting 10 years.
Wow.
The individual, you would have contributed 357,000, and it would be 1.04. Now I think the other one was closer to 1.8.
Yes.
So you're looking, it's a big difference. I mean, that's over $1 million.
For 10 years investment.
10 years of waiting,
Yeah.
60, and you're making $60,000. Yeah, that's a big impact. So what does this look like in retirement? Your goal, 48,000, you come up $12,000 short a year, and then your inflated max spending is almost a third of what it was, or a quarter, or no, it's 3/4 of what it was. But at the end of the day, you see, right, this number right here is your age. So 81, if you took your $48,000 by age 81, you would be running empty. So that's to show the importance of time. Now, the third scenario is to address that shortage and how it would need to be made up.
Okay.
So the 30% at 60,000 would be $19,000, and that would match up to about what you need for retirement. So think the first scenario, 20,000, or sorry, not 20,000, 20% at 20 years old would get you the same thing as 30% at 30% at 30. So that's a big difference. Retirement assets here. So you contribute 126. I bumped it up. I don't know. I bumped it up just to show that you contribute more. That you would contribute your excess of about $7,000 difference between the 20 and the 30% to your 401k. Your employer would still only match the 3%. That's just how they're structured. And then you would contribute the rest to your individual. But at the end of the day, you end up with about the same amount of retirement assets. You just spend so much more in saving. Because that money doesn't sit there, it doesn't compound, it doesn't get that interest, or it doesn't get that compounding return that it would at 20. So next slide. This is just to show you get essentially the same results as you would in scenario one. You just spend so much more money in savings to get there. Because that's the price of time. So that is the bill for not trying today. And then I have my last quote here that I myself am working on. And Denzel Washington said it again. This is at the Dillard commencement speech. Put your slippers way under the bed tonight. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And that's just a sign of humility and gratefulness and thankfulness that we have another day to go after our dreams. Thank you for listening. I hope this has made an impact for you. If you have any questions regarding the plan, I'm more than happy to answer them. And then questions about work. I mean, I've worked at 5 different companies so far, and I'm about to graduate, so probably another one to come next summer. Again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy. Yes, Ms.
I
Brenda.
love the scenarios, but they talk more to the 20 and 30. For those of us, or some of us who may be young, those ages. Is it too late to? I mean, it's never too late because
It's never
again,
too
we have
late.
some time. But what would you suggest for those who are more than 60?
Sure. Well, I can't give personal advice, but I would suggest to do as much as you can, because even a year worth of compounding, a year worth of your interest. I mean, at the 6%, if you got 6% on, I don't know, $10,000, that's still $600 that you didn't have before. So just do the most you can whenever you can.
So do we start with a savings account or
Again,
help?
I can't recommend that. But I mean, what I would recommend is to know what you are, to know your goal and to know the vehicle that you want to use to get to your goal. You don't want to get a race car and put diesel in it, it'll break. So
Right.
you don't want to use the wrong investment strategy. So that's where I would say reach out to a professional and licensed person that can give you
People
advice.
in their 20s aren't going to invest. They're
What?
just starting out. They need their money to buy a house or if they have children and all. I can't see 20-year-olds putting money away, 20%.
Well, even if you can put the 10% and put the 30% in later, it won't be equivalent, but the compounding part is to get started, because the money you put in from the further away from retirement that you start is how much more it can grow.
But convincing a 20-year-old that is like they can't even see that far ahead.
Like,
Yeah.
what could we say to you, to someone your age,
Mhm.
that would encourage you to start even the 10%?
Sure. I would say right from your paycheck. So when you tell the 20-year-old you're going to make $50,000 this year, let them know, but 20% of that is for your retirement, because you have 25 years of retirement to live.
Mhm.
So rather, again, short time or sacrifice your short-term pleasures,
Mhm.
sacrifice getting the extra car
Mhm.
or going out to eat every weekend, or going out every weekend.
Right.
Sacrifice that and make sure that you have a plan now so your future is secure.
That's what they do. Though.
Yeah.
They,
That is, and that's
they
why
go
we
out
see
to
that
eat all the
difference.
time,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
And that's why we see that difference. So, I mean, a lot of, especially the graduating classes, a lot of them get their full-time salary and they're like, what's my first big expense?
Right.
I would say, hold on to that and say, after I set aside my money for retirement, what's my first big expense?
Right.
I feel like Ronnie, to say, how do you convince them? I mean, what convinced you?
Would you say to give the benefits of what would happen if they were to do it? Like, say, you would have a much better life when you retire. You don't want to work for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Or maybe you want to go on vacation. I know you want to do it now, but just think about all the time you could do it when you retire.
Well, I still think it's important to live your life. I just think it's important to live within your reason.
Right.
Because, again, if you blow every dollar you have until you're 30, then you missed 10 years of your retirement. And I mean, that 10 years, we saw that if we waited for 10 years, we were out of money by 80.
Right.
Most people have like a death date, or the average expectancy is like 87 or so.
Right.
So you're
that's
out
cool.
6 years.
Right.
What
Wow.
was your major?
Financial technology and business intelligence and analytics.
So you have to have somebody like you.
Yes.
I think too, though, if we would educate,
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
if we would educate our young people and children
Mhm.
while they're young, they would see this in a whole different light. It wouldn't be something strange.
You make it a habit.
It would be a habit. It would be something they just do.
It would-
So a
yeah.
lot of it falls back on what they're learning or what we've instilled
Exactly.
in them. So
Yes.
some of this we have to take
Yeah.
some responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I often say I wasn't taught this, but I came from a family that had to work, and what I was taught was go to school, get an education, get a good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really, and pay your bills, pay them on
Right.
time. No one said you needed to put money away for retirement or you needed to save,
Mhm.
take care of your family,
Yeah.
pay your bills.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'm still playing catch up or working backwards, and I'm a half a century old. But I am not that person you put on there that started at 20 years
Yeah.
old,
Mhm.
which I wish I was.
Mhm.
So now for me, I have to put more personally into savings than I do my retirement.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I do
and,
have retirement, but
and another thing to just address, like saying the 20-year-old isn't making that much money. There's still people that make millions of dollars a year and they spend every penny.
Right.
And they are in deep trouble and a rude awakening when they realize I go from $1 million, I'm 70, I can't work anymore,
Mhm.
and now I'm looking at half compared to the 80.
Yeah.
That rule applies for all Americans, the ones that are making 40% and the ones that are making 100%. They still want to retire at 80%,
Mhm.
but I mean, the more you're making, the harder that fall is going to be if you're spending every penny. Yes, sir.
I'm listening to all of this and trying to be a little quiet. And for me to be quiet is pretty tough.
We know.
Um,
Who said I know?
That's why I picked 30. Most people up to the age of 29.
Yeah.
They're trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
The dollar's worth today, what, 75 cents?
Yeah.
So even though we're talking putting 20% aside,
Mm-hmm.
most people today can't put 20% aside.
Mm-hmm.
Between the cost of rent,
Mhm.
cost of the mortgage, down payment on a house, seems kind of far-fetched to put down 20% when you're 20 years old. And keep in mind, 20-year-old kids are out partying, having a good time. They just decided now to live, because up until the age of about 18, they were living with their parents.
Yeah.
So you got 2 years now, you're gonna let go. So that's why I picked 30,
Mm-hmm.
because I think when you get 20 to about 29, I hate to say this, but most men or boys don't mature as quick as women. So they don't mature till 25. The average guy matures at 25. I like one quote that you said about the planning, because I spent 39 years in the corporate world. We have an expression: who fails to plan, plans to fail.
That's right.
So easy to say, but education is a key to that.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
now,
that's
if you look at today's society, all the college kids are in hock.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They owe more bills,
Hmm.
including doctors.
Coming out.
We actually built a whole apartment complex in the city of Norfolk, 264 apartments, because of the new hospital.
Yeah.
Because they're in hock, believe it or not, even though they're a doctor, physical
Still paying.
doctor, they're in hock $150,000 a year.
Hmm.
And so they can't do anything. So we had to actually build apartments, so they have a place to stay. And even those apartments are expensive. They're $1,500, $1,400 a month.
Yep.
So let's say the average PhD who just got out of school,
Yeah.
besides being in hock for about $150,000 or more,
Mm-hmm.
now has to pay $1,400 to $1,500 in rent,
Yeah.
not including food or what other bills they have.
Mhm.
Now, if they have families, that number gets lower.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like what you're saying, but I think until you're really like 30 years old, most men don't have a clue.
Yeah. Well, and that's again the person who's making 40,000 and blowing every penny. It's like that parallel still draws. I mean, like doctors. Doctors make a lot more money than a lot of other people do, but they still spend the same like percentages, and that's what goes wrong.
Yeah,
They
think
make
about
more
the-
to spend.
the malpractice insurance. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
It is.
So
It's
it's
up there.
almost 25% of what they're making
Mm-hmm.
just on their insurance.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, now you have a wife, kids, 1 or 2 kids. Some people have 3, 4. I taught high school in Milford for 7 years.
Mhm.
I have kids that graduated when I was teaching. I have 3 kids,
Hmm.
and they're doing labor jobs.
Yeah.
My advice today is to go to a trade school.
I mean, that's not a bad route either. I mean, like we say, education compared with action is power.
Absolutely.
That's where all the jobs are.
Yeah.
In the trades, not in college. So these college kids are not working.
Yeah.
They came back home to live with their parents because they could not afford to live alone.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that's doing HVAC, electrical, plumbing, that guy's making big bucks.
Well, and even those kids that do go home, those are the ones that need to,
Be safe.
whatever they're working, they're
Safe.
not paying those bills.
Right.
The parents are. So
Right.
those are the ones who really, that's when you, if you do go home after you graduate, it's even more reason to start saving money.
Right.
How do you begin to convince them to look to more to the future?
I think something that convinced me was the idea of letting my money work for me and not working for my money. Because it never sounds like a great idea. It's like, yes, I want to work for money for the rest of my life. But if you can get to the point where money works for you for the rest of your life, and you're 50 years old and you're making X number in interest, then like, and you know, like that's just a great relief to know, like, I'm 50, I know I can retire.
Right.
Because at work we always say retirement is not when you stop working, it's when you start to love the work you do.
Right.
But keep in mind, your interest is 0.0,
Mm-hmm.
not even 1%.
Well, it depends on where you're at.
How much money do you put in the bank?
Yeah, but there's also new banks that offer very high interest rates. I've seen 5% interest, especially in these
third-party
rate
banks.
hikes.
Third-party
So-
banks. Yeah.
I would encourage you.
Resources, third-party banks.
Yeah, I would encourage the youth to, or I would encourage everyone to look around at what interest rates they can get. Because 2 years ago, before the rate hikes, you're right, we were below 1%. But today, I mean, your bank accounts and those high interest saving accounts, sometimes they don't have those minimums that require the millionaire, like require the $20,000 we put aside immediately.
Right.
So,
Federal Reserve just raised the rate.
yep, again, another 25.
So, you know, there was a scenario. If you have a credit card that's $50,000
Yeah.
at the new interest rate,
Oh, it goes.
it'll take you 14 years if you made the minimum payment.
But I mean, so as a person who has done financial literacy for years, through state agencies, nonprofits, the first thing we tell people about credit card debt, especially credit card debt, is you are wasting your time to make a minimum payment. First, we advise you that your credit card payment shouldn't be over 30% usage. First of all, anything over 30%, 31, 32%, you now have a negative effect on your credit report for this credit card that you now have maxed out. The second thing is that if you were paying minimum payments, you were absolutely doing nothing for your credit or that credit card. Absolutely nothing to max it out and pay minimum payments. If I equated that to buying a house, you don't even have the corner of the brick of the house at that rate. And so it is education. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to do these types of events, because it is, again, I said it earlier, we always have heard knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. Action is power, because I can know anything, but if I don't implement it, it makes no effect in my world or in my life at all. So we need to be able to educate kids. And I do agree with what you were saying. And even Latanya online had made a statement that she's like, we need to get them like in their second and third grade. If it had been a practice to take my allowance and put 10% in the piggy bank or something, I would have at least had the principle of saving. But that was never a conversation. The conversation.
Parents need to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because coming here today, we did this for our next generation. We did this for our next gen, 18 to 26. The truth of the matter is,
We need to reach
we
them.
really should have had the parents here
Yeah.
who are having all the babies, and so that they can institute good practices
Exactly.
in their family. I don't want my children to suffer the way that I have. Now, I know people look at my life now and think that, well, you're really not suffering. Yes, I am, because one of the questions you asked in the beginning was who's happy with their retirement right now? I have worked nonprofits most of my life, and we didn't start off with nonprofits having 401ks and all that. We do now, but we didn't have that. And so the money I made, I did what I was taught to do, which was take care of my family. Make sure you got a decent house, make sure you got a decent car. If you were blessed to have any savings, the only thing I knew I needed to save is I needed to have 6 months of savings for rainy days or emergencies. That was it. And who lives without an emergency, right?
So
And
that by
so-
itself,
right.
constant.
So that's not my retirement money. So I know that at this stage in the game, half a century, that I will need to work. I will need to work, or I will need to do the double up, right? To now try to make up time that I didn't do the savings and the investing part.
Another thing parents could do, like what you said, like the kids don't have a job and have to come back home.
Right.
The parents should charge them
Yes.
a rent, but put that
Yes.
in an account for them.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
And some parents can't do that. They'll charge their kids rent, put that aside for them.
But they got the same money if the kids were there or not, so that's extra money.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about their mindset,
Right.
and if they can really hold to that and not touch that money.
Okay. So we're going to stop for a quick second because we're getting ready to break for the chat and chew. Is that what we're going to do?
Let me
So-
set up.
While you do that, we want to thank Zachary. Yay, yay, yay. And so,
By the way, I'm sorry, I had another.
You're
no,
good.
no, you're fine.
Our mayor.
So
Oh.
And
one
this is-
second.
I'm sorry.
So for all of you who are watching, because I've been noticing, and thank you guys for making your statements and for participating, and for those of you who come on and off. So what we have today in this envelope is the thing in this folder is what we've talked about. There are many ways that you can save money now. And now that we are in a technological age, there is all kinds of resources and apps that you can institute right from your phone that will literally take the change from your spending. It will literally take the change from your spending and put it in an investment account. And when you get to a certain dollar amount, it will invest it in a very diverse portfolio. So, but here's the thing. Again, the Bible tells us, we say that when you know better, you do better, right? So if you know better, when you know better, you do better. You need to look at technology and what we have today. So here we have a list of apps. We have a list of resources that are right on your phone, just right there. And trust me, I know you keep your phone. I know you don't lose your phone. And so if you don't lose your phone, then there's no way that you can not save and not, as he said today, start somewhere, right? I don't care where you are, how old you are, you can really start today. And you can start today for pennies on the dollars. It used to be that when you invested, you had to invest at a certain dollar amount. Now they allow partial investment. It's taking dollars. You can invest in stocks and bonds at pennies on the day, portions of it. See, these are things that when he graduates, he can tell you, and you can seek him out as your financial advisor. I can tell you this because I ain't afraid of you. One, and for two, because I am you. I am you. I am the single mother with the 2 kids that worked all her life, that found herself at 50 raising, thankfully, sons who are now more informed than I was. But now I have no retirement. So I'm trying to build my retirement by building my wealth and assets, but all the while teaching them and making sure that they don't end up here. And so for those of you, and I don't have no problem, because most of you that are on my page right now know me very well. I have no problem shaming you right now and saying that if you and your mama and your mama's mama had taken any kind of incentive whatsoever to save one penny, you would not be struggling today, because you would have a mindset of why that investment or that savings was important. We never understood the importance of saving. We only saved so that if the car broke down, we could fix the car. Or if we didn't have a job, we got laid off, then we could at least have a month or two of our rent or our mortgage. This is beyond that. I call this a wealth building workshop for a reason, because it's not just building the wealth in your pocket. It is changing your mindset so that your mindset begins thinking about the wealth of your generations to come after you. And so in this, we have taken the time to put together resources that are pages of resources for you that you can delve into and find out more information. I put on the screen where you can reach Zach. But also here at the Milford Armory, we are so sincere about living well and what that means, mind, body, and spirit. And to be perfectly honest, we counsel enough people here to know that you're broke. That you're broke and you're working jobs and you're not saving a penny. And that means your children are going to be broke and your children's children are going to be broke. And here's the thing, there's absolutely no need for it. I understand what you're going to tell me. You're going to say, oh, I can't save any money because I don't make enough money to save. You can save 10% of whatever you get, because trust me, you done spent that at McDonald's. I know you did. And let's go on to sisters and mothers. I know you, sisters and mamas, because I am you. If I take this do-rag off my head right now, I'm trying to tell you, this was $50. I could have put this $50 in a savings bank, in a savings account, and did something with it. So I'm telling you about being real about where you are. Yes, I go get my nails done. I get my toes done. Yes, I go buy my hair. If I took 10% of that and put it in savings, then that's 10% more towards my investment or retirement. Yes, I can say the stuff he can't say. And you know me and I know you. So I'm saying start somewhere today. And if not for you, if you are fine, if you are good, and you are satisfied with your paycheck to paycheck life, think about your children and your children's children. Think about the life they're going to have. He gave us examples to show us that in 40 years, the dollar is not going to be worth nearly what it's even worth today. So here's the thing. What are your children going to do? And I know you don't have life insurance. I already know, because half of you I talked to. And I already know that you are already structuring the GoFundMe to pay for your life insurance. Ain't nobody doing a GoFundMe if they ain't got no money either. Somebody got to have some money. So if somebody got to have some money, then why can't you start today? Really? Okay. Well, miss me with that, sis, bruh, because I know better. So again, you need to tap into the resources. At Milford Armory, you have our website. The website is milfordarmory.com. Go and ask questions. You have so many resources at your fingertip. So while you out there at the club, hit that button on your phone and add something to your phone, an app or two that's actually going to benefit you and not continue to help you be broke and destitute. This is about building wealth, not just mentally, but definitely tangible wealth that you won't have to struggle and your children won't have to struggle and their children won't have to struggle in these next coming years. You thought COVID was hard? AI alone is going to displace so many people that you will not have work. So you partying now and you think AI is cute right now. AI is cute until it replaces your job. But if you have savings on hand, if your money is, as he said, working for you, you can rest assured that you will breathe a little bit better when you can actually go to the store and buy something like food or put gas in the car. So I think this is where we really need to understand what we need to be doing today. So again, we absolutely thank you so much for the presentation. It was a wealth of information. It really makes me think. I really wish I had that information, because I'm gonna tell you, to be able to put a little bit aside then would have been a lot easier than it is to put a little aside now. You know, it just is, right? And so I wish we had, but I thank you so much for coming from Nebraska to give us this information. And thank you to my beautiful team for putting this together. Thank you to the mayor and his lovely wife for showing up. Yay, are participating. And again, to all of you out there watching, and yes, I know you, and I know you're going to watch this in the replay. Share this with somebody. Even if you don't think you need it, share it with somebody that actually will make time to use the information. And if you're interested in the documents that are in the folder, again, if you go to our website, milfordarmory.com, click on the Next Gen tab, all the documents. See, I'm going to be nice and go on and give you the documents. All the documents, which is a goal setting worksheet, a budget setting worksheet, and then all the apps that are on your phone, tangible, for you to be able to start saving money and building credit. So go on over there to the website, pick up the apps, if you need any additional information, reach out to us and we'll be glad to sit and talk with you more. Take care. Till next time.
Wonderful. Well, you've made it on the line.
Oh my God.
So happy you're there. So this